over the night shift to keep you company. Welcome to FANG'S Pizza and Theater, our newest and most esteemed employee. We're absolutely thrilled to have you on board. You've taken on the night shift security role, which means it's your job to keep an eye on the establishment. And, of course, our newly upgraded Fang, Faye, Melody, and Nubs animatronics. They look better, move better, and supposedly act better than ever before. This upgrade was a huge investment for us, and we're incredibly proud of how far we've come, especially considering that the old models, well, let's just say they looked and smelled terrible. Those things were just falling apart. We're having them be sent off to be safely destroyed, so hopefully you won't have to worry about them anymore. Now that being said, we're kind of struggling to keep the doors open. Competition is brutal, and other places with the same gimmick as ours are making things really rough for us. We're barely scraping by, and every little bit of help counts. So believe me when I say that we truly appreciate you being here. But either way, let's get back on track. Your main responsibility is to monitor the premises and watch for any unwelcome visitors, whether they're criminals, mischievous teens, or a mix of both. Now, let's go over the basics. Our animatronics are designed to move around at night to prevent mechanical lockups and system malfunctions, an essential part of their programming. So if you see them roaming, do not panic. That's exactly how they're meant to function. Now that being said, I want to assure you, you're in no real danger. Fang and Friends were created to bring joy and entertainment to our guests. Unless you got a fear of robots. I'm not a big fan of them myself. Motionless stare, robotic movement. Fang stared at me once. Oh man. It's purely coincidental, of course, but still. They haven't done anything aside from their usual singing and performing, but it gets unsettling sometimes. It just gives me the creeps. But hey, let's focus on what really matters. The company policy dictates that night guards are equipped with a laptop with a security program and a very powerful flashlight. And this isn't just any flashlight. If you hold down the button, it charges up and releases a blinding burst of light, strong enough to stun intruders. Oddly enough, it also causes the animatronics to glitch out and reset to their default stage positions. Just make sure to point at them directly, and off they go. Yeah, we're not exactly sure why that happens. It's definitely not intentional, but hey, if it keeps those buckets of bullets from wandering in your security office, I really wouldn't question it. But just a heads up though, every time you use the flashlight, it drains the battery fast. So luckily, there's a shelf behind you that should have some spare batteries if you look hard enough. Oh, and one last thing. This place has a way of feeling different at night. You might hear noises, see shadows where there shouldn't be any, or get the distinct feeling that someone's watching you, even when you know you're alone. It's probably just the old building settling, or your mind is playing tricks on you. We can only hope, right? But hey, if anything really weird happens, just do your best to stay calm. So far, nothing bad has ever happened here. Well, as far as I know, at least. Anyway, that's all for now. Stay sharp and good luck. You're gonna need it. first night wasn't too dull. Oh man, this really does take me back to my first night here about a year ago. Now let me tell you, nothing ever happened. For me, it was so boring, I nearly fell asleep on the job. Man, after a while, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I switched to the day shift. Then I actually had stuff to do. Now management has me checking in on new night shift employees, just to keep them company during their first week. So, lucky you, I guess, right? But another thing about the day shift is I get to talk to other staff members. Well, in person, of course. And guess what? Turns out we're currently on the hunt for a new owner, as the current one isn't really interested and wants to sell it off, I guess. Seems like he's just not that interested in the company anymore. We don't know the full story. Anyways, there's something I wanted to bring up. It's kind of simple, really, but today the animatronics have been acting a little off. Nothing too crazy, at least I hope, but it wouldn't hurt to keep an eye on them, just in case. I know I mentioned yesterday that I have a bit of a fear of those things, but they just seem to stare. Not like Fang that one time I told you about, but it was more intentional. Speaking of Fang, you'll definitely want to be careful with him. Fang, star of the show, he's a playful one. But the real problem, he tends to explore a little too much. Explores in going into the vents or into the office and just perform. The tech team's been scratching their heads over it for ages. The good news? The flashlight should deter him, as it did with his sister Faye. Probably. But anyways, you take care, alright? And I'll check in again soon. Try not to let the boredom or anything else get to you. Keep yourself occupied. Alright, good luck.